waivers and scholarships. Okay, scholarships, you have two different ways to do a scholarship. You can do a scholarship by taxing your members or by allowing them to give as charity. Okay, taxing your members for a scholarship basically means you're adding money into the fees to pay for scholarships. You're forcing them to pay it. It's mandatory. Okay, I prefer the charity way. I would like my families to make the decision of if they can and how much they would like to donate to a scholarship fund, and let them get the blessings for it, okay, for offering to do that. So what we do is at the bottom of the sheet, and like I said, you will see this in the file section. So here's the sheet right here. Down here at the bottom, it says scholarship, optional. This is used to help families in need. Any amount may be donated. Okay, so it's just a line item at the bottom, and they get to put in how much. Yes, I would like to, and I wanted 10 or 100 or whatever they want. 1,000 would be pretty rockin' awesome. Okay, there are always families who are in need, and that is a great way to help take care of that. But if there is no money in the scholarship fund, then nobody gets a scholarship. So we don't promise what we don't have. You need to know in advance what you've got available. It's basically from the last year, usually. Or you can tell them, okay, we know you would like a scholarship, and I will let you know at the end of registration, like 2 days later, how much is available for you, okay? Because they're gonna have to split that up amongst a couple different families or whatever. Okay, so there's your scholarship thing. Don't do it as a tax, do it as a charity. So we're gonna talk about waivers and credits. Now waivers or credits, this is an old practice that we used to do with Commonwealth schools. Part of it was because we had these scholar-only schools, and I can see why we did this, but now because we're all moving to the family schools, it doesn't make sense. It kind of didn't make sense then. I don't think it for sure doesn't make sense now, bookkeeping-wise. Okay, so basically, if we had that list of things that we did for Shakespeare, and I never did add that list up, but let's pretend like it's $1,000 just for simplicity's sake. And for simplicity's sake, we're going to say that we have 10 students, or we're pretty sure we're going to have 10 students in that class. So we're going to divide that up, and we're going to end up with, it's going to cost $100 per student, which would be $50 per student per semester. Okay, and that's what we're going to charge. Now, if I have 2 teachers that are, let's say, teaching, well, I'm going to have a lot more than that, okay, because all the teachers would be doing this, but let's just say I've got, for simplicity again, 2 teachers, 2 mentors in Shakespeare. They're going to teach my Shakespeare class, and I'm offering them $25 credit for teaching. So they get $25 off of their fees. So what happens is now, instead of collecting $1,000, because their students are 2 of these students, so now all I've collected is $950. So now I don't have enough to run my class. Or the other option is I can raise the fees for the other 8 kids, right? I don't know what that would be. Let's pretend that it's $55, okay? So now I've got 8 kids that are paying $55, and I've got 2 kids that are paying, let's say they're paying $25, okay? Basically what's happening is these kids are gonna have to pay for these kids. And that's not cool either, because basically we're all putting our energy and effort into the school. And yeah, scholar teachers are putting in more than juniors maybe. Well, they are, but that's because it's the right time for them to do it. That's because they are willing, they're excited to learn. You need, rather than this whole credit thing, which really doesn't make sense, because let's face it, they're doing way more work than $25 worth. Okay, so it doesn't make sense on that level either. So instead of messing up our finances and pretending like all they're doing is $25 worth of work, let's just make it a part of our culture that we honor the mentors who are willing to put in the time to do this. That it is an honor as well to be asked to be a mentor in the Scholar School. So what they're getting out of this is, you know, they're getting a lot. They're getting way more than $25 worth out of it. Yeah, they're putting a lot of time and energy and effort into it. They're getting the amazing opportunity of going to training and the enrichment that gives them as an individual. They're getting the opportunity to teach this class, to learn and grow themselves over the next year as they see how this works within the school, as they see how it works within a classroom environment, and as they get the opportunity to mentor several different types of kids with different types of personalities and different needs, and they're experiencing all of that as a mentor and learning how to mentor through that process. It's increasing the quality of education that's happening in their homes because of all their learning and the ways that they're growing. And because of that, every time you increase the quality of education in a home that's in your school, it increases the level of excellence that's happening in the school in general. And that in turn is going to increase the level of quality that's going on in all the homes, including all the junior homes, everyone that's interacting in the school. So the benefits are very cyclical, and they just continue to move upward. The $25 isn't worth it, and it's just bad practice. It's bad business accounting practice. So don't do it. It's not worth it. I've actually had schools who have gone bankrupt over it. Really, literally, like they called me, or like, Brenda, we don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to shut our doors. We don't have enough money to keep going. And as I looked through their finances, it was because of this credit thing, and they'd kind of gone overboard with it. It sounded nice. It was nice sounding. Oh yeah, let's help everybody out. Let's give them a credit if they're willing to teach. But they didn't think it through, and they didn't do the math all the way through. So I'm warning you now not to do it. So, okay. So that's our waivers and credits. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to go to the spreadsheet.